So I'm recording a video on how are we going to solve the problem of content creation. And if you stay until the end of this, you'll learn it. Well, at least you'll have a framework of what's called from content creation to publication. That's already well mapped out, but it does need a ton of work in terms of how to improve it. So that this is a way to use Vibe, I think, business process management and Vibe marketing to ensure that things work. Let me show you where this starts. I'm gonna use probably multiple. Well, I do need to use multiple tools, doing that infinite thing. So, okay, let's go there to see what's the problem in here. The problem is it's really a business problem that I'm tackling. Yeah, I'm gonna start in here with this. Is this the right image to start from? I do think so. So I'll put the description over here. Oh, that's not. Yeah, that's the next one. Let's start. Let's start around. Okay, I'll make it bigger, so that we can work on this. So essentially, we do. Well, me and my wife, when we record podcasts, we create a script. And the script has to do with content pillars and the things that we currently do or think and believe. And that is a combination of, you see that the blow box is a combination of a GPT plus a human. And we use our laptop to do that. So you sit in front of the screen like this and use our laptop. So in here, the symbol is like, this is a task that is done by AI and the human. Then we need to record the content, the content in or content or podcast session. That could be like a class, but that could also be just a podcast, right? And in this case, we are using Zoom and the laptop. Or in this particular one, to be fair, I'm using, if you think about this one, we're using Riverside FM in the laptop. Then from here, we move to download the content file. We use Windows for that, or the downloader, and then a laptop. So it's working on the laptop. Then this content that is after being downloaded needs to be uploaded into Riverside. In this case, it's already there. But if we've done it on Zoom, then it needs to upload into Riverside. And that's done. The tool is Riverside, and we're using the laptop. And all of this is humans doing things. There is no AI support in here. Then from here, we need to process the content. And I think that's mostly AI. So like the engine goes, looks into the content, finds the best places, finds the best spots, and it could be done Riverside. It could also be done with the script. I'm using the script. I'll use the script to do that as I pull up this recording end-to-end to see if it comes up with better things. It's using the laptop in here. It's an AI tool. Then we need to review that content and edit. And that's like, are the captions right? Where are the headers? Well, first of all, is the audio good? So checklist for the review content. Is the audio good? Is the image good as well? Is the content right? And I would say the next thing is we need to edit that. Kind of the editing, and it's going to depend on, is it a long form or short form? If it's long form, say it needs to have a thumbnail, we need to find a title, it has to have show notes. There's a set of, so we do need a checklist for that, okay? What is the checklist for long form and what is the checklist for short form? That's done in Riverside or in the script, and it's done using the laptop. Then from here, we've got two paths, although that slight line in the middle, you guys can see it, but that line over there, let me just see if you're talking, you can see me. Because if I'm sharing screen, the focus when you share screen is that this thing should also show my face. I think that makes sense, right? When you share screen, picture in picture, I think that should work. But the point is, when I'm doing these type of things, that work best? No, clearly not. Doesn't work. Speaker split screen. Yeah, speaker split screen. Okay, that's the best way to do these things. Okay, cool. So let me get back to the picture. Okay, we're in here. So after reviewing the content regarding long form and short forms are multiple, and we do need checklists for each one of them to ensure that are the captions right? In case there is a title, does it follow hook, story, offer? Is the title catchy? And where to pick up the titles from? And I think in here, all that was processed by AI. There are a couple of loops between review and then process. So that takes some time over there. Then let's follow the path of short content. We do need to export it again from Riverside to the laptop. And here it says export, because in Riverside there is this thing, you edit and do export. And then after that, you download the content. And in case of my wife, she's downloading it to the phone. I probably don't be downloading it to the laptop. So it's a combination of both. But you see, you need to export inside the tool, download, and then start treating it. So I'm following the path in here of the short form, number one. This is what we're doing. Number one. Okay, now we need to start preparing the post, either for in this case for the short form. Prepare the post with hook, content, and some kind of offer or a call to action. That's a combination between GPT and it's being done at the phone. So AI and a human task. Now it comes the publishing side of this, and it's also a pain, to be fair, because it can go to Instagram for Reels, Facebook for Reels, but it's in the personal account, and LinkedIn as well for content. In case of Instagram, we need to add a cover, title, location. I think this has to do with the post. We need to see. But it needs to have a cover, title, and location. And it's done in Instagram. Again, it's done in another tool, Instagram, using the phone. For Facebook, we use again Reels in the personal account, add captions or post, and it's done with the phone. Now, on LinkedIn, it follows a very similar path. It goes all the way down in here, and it needs to review the post because I think it's clearly differently from what is a regular Facebook post or Reel. But in this case, it's the post. So we talked about Reels. We need to have a flow in here for posts. Review the post for the platform LinkedIn, GPT. Again, GPT helps in here, and the phone. And then finally post to the network in LinkedIn. So post to network. It's essentially using the tool. You go there and you post. This is a human tool. I think it's missing in here. We have got Reels, but we also have to post content, like text-based content. So it's missing in here a path that is Instagram, post, Facebook, post. I'm going to say Facebook image and Instagram image post. I think that those are the the end products over here. It might be others, but we need to have a specification on everything that is going out. So that's for short form content, okay? So that we tackle this one. So overall, create, record, download, upload, then we need to edit. That's kind of the middle thing in here, the middle. So, and then at the end, we prepare and we push it to the platform. So the publishing side is not in here because right now it's done in the phone. We are not having another tool in here, something to think about, I believe. But this is the as-is process. So that's one of the processes. Now let's go to let's go to the long form. Okay, long form, again, it's a bit more steps. Long form, if it's, here's a distinction. If it's audio, we download the content to audio, you have to download the audio, okay, download the content into Windows. Then my wife uses for the content, uploads the audio, the MP3 file, really important, okay? Yeah, that file, the download of content is only the audio. You upload this, you download it to the laptop, and then you upload this into lip sync using the laptop, and then then you copy the description from the episode from Riverside or whatever it was the tool that it made it, and you bring that copy into LipSync. It's a description of the episode. You upload that, and then finally the human hits the button. This is all human tasks, and it publishes with LipSync that goes across all platforms. Now, for long form, and if this is the video plus audio, you need to download the file, the MP4. Use Windows, that's the operating system. In the laptop, human task. You create the thumbnail, really important, because this is most likely to go to YouTube. You create the thumbnail in Canva, another tool. Use the laptop to do that. You create a title, and you go a bit back and forth with this because the thumbnail has the title. So that's done with GPT and the laptop, and it's finally works out in Canva. Then you upload the thumbnail video to YouTube using the laptop. You add the episode description you added before from the script on YouTube, and you publish the episode. So that's the long form. I think it's missing in here long content. Again, it's missing the blog option, that is extract the text, reformat the text, get it prepared, publish it to a website, and most likely also the repurposing of that content, the text, to build text-based images that we can publish across the other social media platforms. Oof, that was a lot, right? So that's the whole thing. So what have I done? I've built this in Figma because I wanted to have a visual representation of this. There's kind of the workflow views, podcast, video, podcast course. And what I was really trying to see is to make a very basic and simple representation of this. I don't think this looks very, very nice. It has process narrative, our content creation. Yeah. So we standardize this, but what I'm looking for is to pick up the code, because this was one of the cool things that Figma did. Figma, as I imported the images over here, this is an end-to-end business process for content creation, editing, review, and publication. Can you create the flows and annotations specific to each? It specifies in each box the tool being used. I made an annotation type that is from the world of business process management. But what Figma does is that it provides you the whole code. And my thought process is, if we can pull up all the code and then give this to an LLM that reasons what to use, can we make the integrations work? I hope so. But I think it's failing on, this is, again, I've used drawing. I set up with my wife and okay, let's clearly identify the as is. And to be fair, what I wanted Figma to do was not that thing. I think it's going to be helpful, but mostly the business process diagram. And I'm trying still to solve it, but I think this narration will help. So this is where I am at today. Probably this will work. I'm sure these guys have like a business process management, BPM, product development. Just need to know business stickers, of course. Hiring process map. There we go. So that this one could work. And okay, I think this one can work because, in theory, Figma can pull up the code and help us with this. The good thing is that since I've got the narration already done, see, we've got a lot of these steps already done. We can bring all of these things in. I think it created a lot of this stuff, but I think I've got the foundation. And later, of course, the objective is that I put this into Gumloop or some kind of other tool, and then this can be we can solve this problem, because right now it doesn't take, the thing in here says 4 to 8 hours. Yeah, it's 4 to 8, most likely. But the 5 to 8 roles are always the same guy. So it's just think about that. That's a lot. And content types, this is really good because it gives you an idea of what's happening. So I need to ask Figma what to do with this. So I'm going to start mapping out. I'm going to process project analytics. Here we go. Isn't this right? This is really awesome, to be fair. Let's go back in. Here we go. Yeah, that part was really good, I think. Called some right. I have to call it the proper name. Yeah, and I wanted to do this in the script. Probably this is an overkill. So let me get back in here and continue with the production of how to solve this problem of, yeah, because later on I'm gonna give you a step back. I'll create as, okay, so I need the business process diagram and the narrative on this. Can you do that? And it went through it. It was really cool, visual representation. But one thing is what is it's in his head, another thing is it's in my head. So what I'm going to do is look, can you do CIPOC? That's supplier inputs, outputs, supplier input, process, procedure, outputs, and customer for A, the high level process, and B for each of the sub. And you'll see that this is really helpful because it provides another layer of, oh, this is how it's done. And then we can re-engineer this. I mean, unless if there is an AI tool that does everything, but if we have the whole package done and defined, I think it's going to work great. My view. Back. So while he's thinking about that, I'm going to go back to what we have and call it what it is. Okay. I know Figma is cool because I see tons of people using it in the, well, to be fair, in the hand. Process maps, yes, I know that they are. I've been using it. So we can delete this stuff from here. And what I'll do, I'm gonna start. What I'll do is I'll just call it exactly what it is. Oh, this one. No, we don't need this one. Okay, yeah. So this is very, very helpful because right now I've got each one of the steps in here. And we also have the narration from this episode. So I'm like on the middle of, should I go ahead and model this again, or should I just put it immediately, just pick up the BPM, pick up the code, add it to Gumloop and see what it says, and then start testing it. I think there's a couple of things missing yet, as I was describing the process before, but nothing beats nothing. Oh, and it's doing the CIPOCs. So I think nothing beats an initial prototype. So let me go to Gumloop. Bit slow, right? Okay, create a flow, and the name of the flow is, what's the name of the flow? I think this is an elusive name. Podcast. We had a really better definition before, but the machine is still working on the code. I've created a comprehensive. Oh my goodness, it's done. This is tremendous, man. It's just this is really tremendous. Like, I've never business process, CIPOC analysis. Yeah, he has a ton of assumptions. You see what I mean in terms of the things to have. Yeah, it just works really well. Process narrative. Yeah, this looks really good. Now, what we need, since I think this is in terms the objective. Okay, end-to-end process content creation. Yeah, content creation workflow management. Yeah, I think that's the right name to give to something like this. I never understood this on Google. You need to save the workbook, but since you've got nothing in there, okay. I've tried this with Gumloop. That is, what I'm gonna just going back to the canvas because I know now. Okay, so what I'll do is because my ChatGPT is highly trained, I'll pull up my ChatGPT and guess what? I'm gonna feed them the code from Figma. Now here's the thing: I don't know how to pull the whole code because I believe that this has to have more code. There's like components, guidelines, styles, attributions. Okay, so what happens if I want to download them? Just look at the code, right? There's something. This is brilliant, isn't it? So my major question for this is if this has the whole code, and it probably has the whole code. It's a JSON package, so it should be telling me how to. Yeah, man, it's I don't know yet how to use this stuff. Okay. So but guess what? Okay. If I have to explain to an LLM like Gumloop or Grok process and details, what should I down? Oh, that's one thing. Then two, one, two, yeah. Let's start with I had a question. I was like, how can I make this action? How can I can implement this process? And number three, this is a lot of questions. Number three, before implementation, since this is the as is version, is it better design? This is just different ways to implement these things. We can pick up, the whole flows in there and the several steps that we have and then move them and then just try to automate that thing or like with some critical thinking, put AI thinking first and then do that. So I'm asking this LLM to do that in case you cannot respond to number two or number three, APIs, tool or orchestration or version. Yeah. So let's see what comes out of there. Okay. So I've got this. I'm just going to look at ChatGPT and give them. This is essentially my Vibe marketing project over here. And I upload these files in there. I can. Let's see this. This is the current Figma down A. Let's make the same questions, right? Because at least if I'll follow the same pattern. Close this one. Figma. Back to Figma. Is reasoning. Is reasoning. That's so cool. Okay, that's the cool part, right? We can see the reasoning. Wow, that's phenomenal, right? That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. That's like a really cool thing. Wow. So I'm telling you guys, if this Figma tool does seem very interesting because it moves from architecting to, I think, in a way, provide the pictures, descriptions. I don't know if the picture and description are the same, but let me go back in here, slightly tweak this prompt. No, I need to tweak it because it's the my GPT has no idea of what's happening. And you use it. Okay, let's see. I know I was in Gumloop. Okay, see what Gummy has. He's still thinking, right? So this one went with a really open question. I like this idea. Like this starts with open questions and open needs, and yeah, it's just a different way to approach the problem, right? And look, as a business owner, I have like we have like tons of problems with this. Going back, so GPT. Sometimes my GPT does that. I don't know what's happening. I think we've got a different one, but we'll see. Reasoning. Okay, so he's still creating the export. That's an interesting one. First, let's get export functionality. This is tremendous, right? Isn't this tremendous? I think it's just, this would take me, I don't know, this would take me forever to do this type of work. Let's see what my GPT comes up with. And of course, I'm very curious on Gumloop. I think he's kind of parked in, okay. It should be coming up with some kind of solution, right? Or is it just doing the same thing over and over again? Well, because it doesn't, I don't know if it has any memory of things or not. GPT is still kind of outside. Gumloop is also looking for patterns. And I'm taking about an hour. I promised my wife to get this problem sorted. It's going to take more time than that. But again, this was going back to the old school method. That was, now yeah, okay. This one matches, right? Let's go. Okay, here we go. So we hit the square in here. View plans, upgrade your plan. I think I have to upgrade. So yeah, this is cool, but you see, for more analytics, you need to pay more money. So I think it's just part of this. Okay. Wow. I'm going to start with something like, I'm going to give them $20, right? And I cannot show what's coming up next. So, because it's my card. So I will stop sharing. Okay. So I'm going to end all of the things in here to see, first of all, record and pull up this. My name is Gonçalo. I'm a self-defense and Krav Maga instructor. Got many years of optimizing human performance. Guess what? With business process design. This is really, we live in an outstanding time. I hope at least you've seen some of my voyage so far. I'll put this out there and see if you guys can help. Gumloop. Yeah, Gumloop is still thinking about his life. So I think and I do want to see this thing working, to be fair. So I think I think an investment in Figma and in Gumloop will be helpful. Yeah, the process narrative is very, how can I say, the process narrative. I think the CIPOC would probably work better. Or that's it, because this is, yeah, man, this is wow. People would pay a lot of money in the in the in the corporate world. Let me just show you this. Look, I'm share screen. Yeah, this one. So the corporate world and the world of consulting, and I know it because I've done it many years. The combination of what you guys just seen, of course, you need to document the process, but this is just too good. Export, process documentation, API implementation. How the heck process, content creation, workflows, CIPOC, narrative, to be designed. Whoa! Key improvements. Exactly. I don't even know how to explain this. To be workflows. Suggestions. No way. No. Oh my, this is so good. This is so good. No. Figma. Look, I don't know if Figma can operate the process, but thinking here it created some kind of stuff. So I need someone to help me on. I need you guys to give me your views, okay? Because this is a pain point for everyone in the industry. Well, I need it for my process and my work and everything, but This is just tremendous. So this ended up in a very high note. The to be design is here. The export is here. So if I, theoretically, if I go to, even gives us an implementation plan. Oh, yeah, this is way beyond my technical knowledge, but here we go. We got the APIs working in there. Front end API. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot in here. There's a lot that a regular person can do. And I cannot stop clicking. It's too hard to stop clicking. What I want to look into is export, process documentation, complete process overview for LLMs. You press in there and you copy to clipboard, and I'm gonna feed this into Gumloop. Ha! It didn't work. Did I press the right thing? Okay, the markdown is here. Okay. I think this is too much for an LLM. This is the hard thing now. Yeah, planning and strategy, content creation, processing and editing, review and quality assurance, publication analytics. So yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing. The six processes that were in there. I don't know why it changed something different. Yeah, because to be fair, the workflow is something like this. And if I want to visually show you this, it's something like this. There's 8 steps, right? And you might think that methodologically, but right now let's not even think about that. Let's just put in here the 8 steps. No, I think, go back to my notes. I've got more steps than that. I've got like 13 steps. So I was trying to find an easy way to move these into those easy steps. Do I still need to write stuff? Apparently, yes. Apparently, humans still have to write stuff. The good thing is that at least it's recorded already, right? But I'm overwhelmed with so many good things. Oh my goodness. It changed. Yeah, there's something in here. I don't do that. It was his interpretation. So this is always okay. So I think that this is still extremely helpful. This is still extremely helpful. It's my okay. Yeah, this is the only thing that when you are working with so create script, record content, download the content file, upload the content file, process content. Then I need this thing to be moved, and we need to duplicate. I think there's it would be helpful to save something like duplicate, mess around with this. Is in terms of designing, it has a very cool interface. So we were at process content, and we need to go and pick up using these 2 steps. Here's my human reasoning, right? It should work as well. Upload, process content, upload to Riverside. We have that. Upload content to Riverside, process content, review content. Yeah, we are at the review stage. This is hard, man. This is hard. It's a lot of steps, and I think I did a pretty good work on. Yeah, let's put only these 3 steps over here. Oh, it made it different. Okay, I got that. Yes. Yeah, probably this is a better idea to think of it. Probably it is a better idea. And it has the blog. Okay. That's yeah, like 8 steps. Made like 5, 7. In terms of BPM, it's also looking good. So I think this will reviewing, and then we have to export again. This is a pain, right? And review and edit, export again. I don't know. I promised this to my wife, and she will not be happy. She will not be happy, man, because this is gonna take way more time than I thought about. But wait, so I would say it's gonna take more time. Okay, we have to export, and then finally, let's pick up this color in here. We have to publish it. Now we still after. Yeah. Let's see what's the 8th step that was in here. Yeah, social distribution. Yeah, there is another review. Yeah, there's more editing. There's always editing and more editing. So that's something that we do need to tackle. Yeah. I would use other verbs like distribute. So here you have it. Gonna work on this problem. And if you guys are like crazy good with Gumloop or any other tool, oh my God. Oh, yes, too good. So phase 2, gonna end for today. Send me your suggestions. I'm gonna stop sharing. It's just phenomenal. I'm sure they're gonna have like tons of content going out. Tell me what you'd like to see more and how can you help and what have been your solutions for each one of these problems end to end. Enjoy.